in fights with people, and I've done that before in the past too. When I lost a job in a shady way, I would always practice what I would say to them if I ever saw them again. And it was, the jerk store called and they ran out of you.
Good one.
Good one.
Yeah.
All right. That's the ass girl, I think, again.
Just got to set
calls.
that up again.
What's that?
You just got to set that up again. You got to try and get a job or some sort of meeting with them so you can finally get the joke off. Hopefully, they don't have something ready to go.
They've also been practicing.
Yeah.
Well, I slept with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
People who remember that Seinfeld episode, by the way, you'll recall that is a meeting where George had to fly to Akron, Ohio, to meet with the Firestone people.
Yeah,
that
scene. New Firestone Day, where everybody gets a tire.
He's like, you want to do? I don't even remember what the thing he wanted to do was, but he's of course eating a giant thing of shrimp because he's trying to get the guy to say it again. And I think the episode is called The Jerk Store or The Comeback or something like that. He's like, well, I slept with your wife.
Help yourself to some shrimp. I brought it up for everybody.
I have to say, this proposal doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Well, you never know. Let's see how many I can fit in my mouth.
You know, George, the ocean called. They're running out of shrimp.
Oh, yeah, Riley? Well, the jerk store called. They're running out of you.
What's the difference? You're their all-time bestseller.
Yeah? Well, I had sex with your wife.
His wife is in a coma.
Now, of course, that brings up a good question, and it's all for comedic fodder there on Seinfeld. But is it illegal, unethical, immoral to have sex with someone in a coma?
I mean, they can't consent.
Yeah, that would be,
Good to know. Let me make a note. Good to know. I mean, I'm asking
You need consent for
not
sex.
asking
That's
for
like
my friend.
number one.
Okay. Blink twice, honey.
if they can't.
She blinks twice. Can you blink in a coma?
I don't think so.
Can you squeeze someone's finger?
I know.
Squeeze my finger. Well, but they say people in coma can hear you.
But they can't respond. They can't do anything.
They have no motor functions at all.
I don't know about all comas.
This is medically induced?
No idea.
So not even the squeezing the finger.
You're creating the scenario.
Or that's not my finger. Oh. So you can't. Okay. Now,
They're
again.
squeezing the whole finger?
No, the one right next to it. Now, I've never been in a coma, nor have I ever known anyone. At least I don't think so. I don't think I've ever known anyone in a coma. Not actively. Maybe I know someone right now who has been in a coma. They just never imparted that information to me. So I could be surrounded by friends who have been in comas. But boy, I got to tell you, I feel like I would have heard about it.
Yeah.
That seems like pretty big news. How was your year? It was tough. You know, Frank lost...
The coma was okay.
Frank lost his job. The kids were out of school with COVID. And, of course, me in the coma. You go, what? You know, when I was in a coma. No, I didn't. There was a movie when I was a kid called Coma. This is a 70s movie starring a young Michael Douglas. I think they tried to remake it a few years ago. But it freaked me out because, and if you're old enough, you're a Gen Xer, you might remember this movie because there was this scene of all of these bodies hanging from wires. And they find out, like, the crux of the movie is that they're basically harvesting organs from people. Mm-hmm. You know, all these people are going through the same procedure. She was a healthy woman. Why is she dead? And, of course, this big reveal scene where all these bodies are hanging from wires. And but it was called Coma. And boy, did that freak me out as a young boy. It was a book. And then somebody said, we got to make this into a movie. And boy, they did. and I think it flopped. I don't know that a lot of people saw it, but I remember I saw it, and my life was forever changed to the point now where I'm overly concerned if someone has ever been in a coma.
Well, keep talking about that movie, Coma, and I'm sure I'll be there in no time.
This is how I'm going to do my experiments. Bill's going to be in a coma here momentarily. I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about this movie. And then when he cacks out, then we're going to get to work. Then we're going to figure out what's what.
Coma time.
Then we're going to see if he can squeeze my finger. That's not my finger. We're going to see how that works.
And I'm not in a coma.
So I know, I know.
I just wanted to squeeze things.
I know you weren't a homework guy. You weren't a paper guy. You hated homework, right?
Yeah.
In all of its forms.
I was vehemently opposed to homework because if you can't teach it to me in school, that's your time. My time is my time when I get home. I'm not a student when I'm at home. I'm only a student when I'm at school.
You know, and as a type A personality, like Mary is, like I am with respect to academia and everything that came after, my brain immediately my brain immediately goes, well, that's just not how it works. But to your point, why can't it work that way?
It only makes sense.
Was
that
there
way.
ever
Like,
a time where homework was considered strange? Where they're like, what? I'm not going to go, I mean, there's a word for it. I'm not going to go home and do work.
Right.
But here's the thing. Kids, school is like your job. You don't have a job.
Yeah.
So school is like your job.
Right. So I'm going to do my job when I'm at my job.
But
I'm do it when I get home.
There are plenty of adults with jobs that they have to continue. They got to dig in at home.
Then compensate me thusly.
Well, that's not how anything works.
Well,
that ship has sailed.
I'm just telling you.
But kids have nothing else to do. There's things that
I had all sorts of things to do.
No. There are
Yes,
things
I did.
you wanted to do.
Yes, because
kids don't have anything to do.
If you keep me out of school for, what are you at school for, like 15 hours a day?
It's like 28 hours a day.
It seems like so much.
15 hours
It's
a
so
day.
much that when I get home, I need time to unwind and be a kid before I go back.
But unwind from the not paying attention, like that's the part I never understood. When kids are like, even in college, kids are like, I got a paper due in May. Like school is not. Listen, extenuating circumstances aside,
They didn't.
learning disorders, things like that. For most, for people, okay, I'm just saying, school not that tough. When you're like in middle school and whatever, so kids are like, oh, you didn't do anything. You sat there all day. Because you don't like school.
Right.
So what are you unwinding from?
All the school, there's still school happening to me.
Happening to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Against my will.
Right. I just
I would've
wonder,
been
because
fine
listen,
being a shoe shine.
I knew people like you in school, right? Everybody knows
Yeah.
people are like, I hate this, I don't want to be here. But my brain is always like, well, was the distaste for it compounded by the fact that you pushed back so hard on it?
I mean, it wasn't.
Was
like,
there ever a time where you
just
were like,
never-
well, maybe I'll kind of go with the flow and see what happens?
I kept trying to do the things that they'd want. Like every once in a while, I'd give it I'm like, okay, fine, I'll buckle down and
Yep.
do this schoolwork. And I was always capable of doing it when I actually tried, but it just wasn't my thing. School's not my thing. It's not how I learn. Sitting in a classroom is not how I learn.
Right.
It's not like you can't teach me things that way. I got to be doing the thing.
There was no there.
If you want me to learn about history, put me in the war. All right? I don't know
me in
about
the
it. But
war.
yeah.
I noticed you didn't register for military service.
Well, I don't want to, because I didn't like history class. So I didn't want to be part of it.
Guys, I don't want to be part of the present or the future or history.
No, but I mean, so much of how they teach
history is happening right now.
Right. As the dates and the things like that. And
Well, that's all crap you'll never use unless you're on Jeopardy or something.
right.
But, yeah.
But like the actual cause of the wars, the nuance to it, like I was interested in that, but they would just be so laser focused on teach, we got to make sure you know the dates exactly. And so I just was very tuned out, very overlooked by my parents too, because there's so many kids in my family that they had to worry about them.
Yeah.
So I just was just like, okay, this is a place that I have to go but I had no interest in going to college. I didn't know what I wanted to study. There's nothing I wanted to like be other than like a comedian, basically. Even though I didn't really know how to go about that, I was just like, okay, I like making people laugh. That's all I wanted to do.
Right.
Was make people laugh. And so I just did that in school. I made jokes.
Alan, how did Mary like the Offspring show? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, we were talking about your boobies, and I forgot. It was when we were gone, right?
Yeah, it was. Well, it was Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. Last night.
Wait, what's today?
No, Tuesday night.
Tuesday
night.
night.
Tuesday
Yeah,
night.
it was Tuesday night. It was fun. We got there. We missed some 41 because traffic took an hour
At Blossom?
sitting in traffic for but not sitting to get in. It doesn't take an hour to sit to get in. Getting out, sure. I was really frustrated.
Did
Anyway.
they sing that song about Bill being in school and then going home?
You gotta keep them separated.
Hey. So we missed some 41. Simple Plan was incredible. I love Simple Plan. They sounded amazing. They were really, really good. Offspring was fine.
They're not a good live band.
They were okay. Brian had a great time. He was loving every second of it. But even he was like, the word he kept using was thin. He said they sounded thin and flat.
They're
It
a fun band, but Dexter Holland has never been a muscular, strong live singer.
Sure. A lot of talking.
Those guys are like, they have like PhDs in molecular biology, right?
I thought that
'Cause
wasn't real.
They're not. No, they do. Because they're super smart, but they're not. He didn't spend his time taking voice lessons. Because you're in a punk band, you don't need to. But they probably also didn't think that they would be around for 35 years either.
I thought that was all made up because he did this before they did Pretty Fly for a White Guy. They went through all of Dexter's CV and he's a molecular biologist and he's
No,
this
he
and
does.
he's that
No,
and he's
he
this.
is.
I thought they were just
He and
messing
Noodles
around.
are both really smart guys.
Noodles I like.
Yeah.
That dude's funny. Like,
They're great.
He
They're
was
like
killing me.
They're like a fun band. They write catchy songs. They're not the best live band out there.
It was
Never have
actually he did I think it's called Gone Away.
Yep.
On a piano.
Oh no.
Do you want me to send it to you?
No.
Okay.
You love
Uh,
a
Do you want me
piano,
to play
huh?
it?
No.
I have it right here,
No, thank
ready
you.
to go in my voice recordings.
Someone sits down at a piano. Mary's like, "This is the best."
Well, no,
This is
because
insanity.
here's the thing. I'm not a huge Offspring fan. I know what they sound like on the radio, but it wasn't the best thing I ever heard.
Yeah, I understand.
You
You're
know.
not a huge fan of that band.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew every word to like 2 songs, and then I was vaguely familiar with like 2 or 3 other songs, and then
Well, this piano version is on the new album, so that's why they were doing it.
oh,
Yeah.
Well,
But the
that's
song
okay.
is like 25 years old.
I knew the song once, but once he was into it, I was like, oh, I know this.
Right.
But yeah, it was good. It was packed. I don't know if it was completely sold out or not, but there was a lot of people there, and yeah, it was fine. We had a good time. Brian enjoyed himself.
But you enjoyed who you wanted to enjoy.
Yes, Simple Plan was fantastic. I loved them start to finish. It was so funny because they're whiny, they're emo, it's pop punk. It is what it is. And Brian was like, I understand writing these songs about being mad at your dad because they closed on Perfect, which is like their ballad. And it literally is like a letter to his dad about, I'm sorry, I can't be perfect.
This is the cry song for you.
This is the cry. I did. I didn't completely cry tears down my face, but I teared up and I had chills. But Brian was like, why are they closing on this song? And I was like, look around you. Everyone here is mad at their dad. Okay? Everyone here has had a problem with their dad at some point.
Is that a
and that's-
prerequisite for digging those bands?
I think so. Yeah. You got some teenage angst in you and you, oh, sorry, I can't live up to what you, and some 41 is.
Well, not
or-
all teenage angst is pointed at parents, though. It's an easy target. But I was just as angsty as any other kid, but I wasn't mad at my parents.
Simple Plan is
Yeah, maybe I was. What the hell do I know?
very whiny, like, oh, nobody understands me.
Yeah, I get it.
can't. So, but that's like their vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were great.
That scratches you right where you itch.
Yes, sir. We had a great time.
Who doesn't understand you?
No, when I was a kid, none of my friends.
Now
understood me.
I mean, she's speaking English.
But weren't
we all-
you also like the popular girl that?
Yes, but I had a secret, Bill. Nobody knew I lived in a hoarder house. I had never had a birthday party. Nobody was ever inside of my house because we weren't allowed. We'd
Right,
get taken
understood.
away.
Did that
So-
come in handy that you had like a Thanksgiving birthday, so school was generally out?
Mm-hmm.
So you
Well, I
didn't
never
have to-
had really birthday parties at all.
But I'm
until I
saying
moved
like
with
so
my
you
dad.
could like.
Yeah, it wasn't
yeah,
like during the year.
You didn't
or
have to
anything
like
that.
bring it up.
Yeah.
Like you could
But-
kind of.
You really think that?
if people were to visit your house, like you would be at risk of being taken away?
Yes.
Also, and
Well, but it also would have been mortifying.
But there are a lot of parents that have a lot, like their house is dirty.
Cody,
like
we had one path that went through our entire house. There was our bathroom was in such bad shape that the tile was gone. It was essentially a dirt floor in our bathroom.
So I mean, I got to go to break here, but I'm just curious. How did no one among the kids get you guys scooped up?
What do you mean?
By talking to a friend at school about how you live in a hoarder house.
We never told anybody. We
Because,
told them
you-
we
you
weren't
were
allowed to
like-
have people over because our dog bit.
You would have been embarrassed.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Well, no,
like
I'm-
Bill said, I was super popular. The
I
last thing I'm
understand.
going to do is be like, I live in Swaller. You know what I mean?
Live in what?
Swaller?
Squalor, you mean?
Squalor?
Oh, no, I didn't want you to tell her.
Sorry.
Took a big old swaller out of it, and I was like, uh-oh.
Squalor.
We're
But
living in
also-
Swaller.
I took a big old swaller
I'm
out of
just
it, and I was
surprised.
like, uh-oh.
That your mom wasn't like, hey, let's have a birthday party. We can get a bunch of stuff here.
No, that's not how
God.
that works.
Kids bring over and like, let's keep that wrapping paper forever.
She takes all of the presents and just throws
Yeah.
them in a random room.
She's like, I got a perfect spot for this.
Squalor. But yeah, no, we didn't tell anybody. Nobody knew. Not until I moved in with my dad did I tell people that that's why they weren't allowed to come over.
Wow. I've got to take a break here. If you want to send a text for something, 35192. I'll have that next trip for you to get to Vegas in about an hour, around 5:30, for our iHeartRadio Music Festival. If you want to go see the band Dirty Honey, they are doing a show at the House of Blues. I'll hand those off next.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart